Today.
Hello! Today, it's us!
Yeah. We made it again, yet another Thursday in a row.
Hey.
Wait, no, we skipped last week.
We did, because it was the PPR.
Yeah. Hey, let's put that on silent.
Oh yeah, I should put my phone on silent too.
You should also put your phones on silent.
Do not disturb our hot takes on the video.
Yeah.
On video games.
Sorry, Kathleen, I think your mic is...
Oh yeah, it's totally underneath my coat. Oh, I have a solution to this problem. One sec.
Okay. Don't change that channel. Don't touch that dial. We've got it all on LRR.
There.
Oh, okay.
I can just put my coat on afterwards if I get cold. I like this tank top a lot because it fits nicely and is comfortable. Keep muting my mic for a second.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize.
Sorry. I just got to get it closer to my face. That's the way to do it. Yeah. This tank top is great, but it's a little bit low here for putting the mic on.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird
You can't have it there, but you can't have it high.
You gotta feed it at the straps, which is why I have it on this side. So hopefully I get it when I talk to you. But,
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, hopefully it's high enough.
It's like a thing where it isn't normally a consideration I have for women's clothing, because I don't even wear a lot of low cut shirts. This is not that low cut, but it's just low enough that it's too low for a lapel mic.
Right.
I gotta start wearing chokers, and I can clip the mic to my choker. They were so briefly in style, and I was excited because they looked nice on me.
I mean, if they look nice on you, are they just not why not just wear them?
Because I'm a slave to fashion.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You've met me.
I have met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
shit.
You can be a style innovator.
Did I fish?
45 minutes.
Oh, did I fish? Let me just see if I fished.
Yeah, this fishing. Okay, while Beige is fishing, this is very important.
Yeah.
This fishing event, 4 days in Pocket Camp, 4 freaking days, and hey, you know what the average size of one of these fish is? 3 centimeters.
Yeah.
Wow, F off.
Yeah, you got to catch 6,500 centimeters to get to gold.
And a good catch is 200 centimeters.
Yeah.
How many cycles is that then? Too many.
It's 4. Is it 4 cycles a day? 6 cycles a day. It's 3 every 3 hours. So it's
6 cycles a day.
Yeah, that you can actually get because you'd be sleeping then. I think
oh, yeah.
too, right?
I'm not waking up in the middle of the night to fish.
No, exactly. I have not fished yet. Shit, this will take me a couple minutes.
Yeah,
this will take me a minute. Sorry, Paul.
All right, so we're all gonna wait.
Yeah.
While Beige does his
chores
in the video.
I'm gonna narrate that I caught a 16 centimeter goldfish. There's that.
It's a big ass goldfish.
Actually, you know what? Well, I mean, it's about that big.
16 centimeters.
16 centimeters.
That's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's
10 is about that. 16 is about.
It's probably about this. It's like a baby koi.
Oh yeah. Okay. No. Okay. That actually. Yeah, that's a big goldfish. I just caught a 54 centimeter catfish.
Oh, good for you.
So, if anyone out there's into catfishing.
Hey, if anybody out there plays Animal Crossing Pocket Camp like me and Beige, you should find us and friend both of us. Because we are very good players. We're dedicated.
I'm reasonably
I'll
active.
send you whatever bugs you need during a gardening event. I will, when I get bugs, I will scroll through my very long friends list, endlessly looking for somebody who wants my bugs. I just don't dump them on the first garden I see. I'm a good person.
Friend Kathleen, and you will get bugs.
Yep.
You'll get so many insects.
Caught a 60 centimeter catfish again.
Hey!
Caught another goldfish. Let's see if I can get a pink koi.
Have you made your catch 5 of a certain size goal?
No, not yet. I'm getting close though.
What level are you at now, Beige?
163.
Oh, I'm closing in on you. I'm 160.
Nice.
I'm getting there. I'm going to catch up. And then I will have nothing to show for it because it's a pointless game about filling bars.
It won't matter. Heather and I were talking about this last night, and she was saying how she dislikes that they made an Animal Crossing game that is the complete antithesis of what Animal Crossing is. Hey, pink koi.
In what way?
Animal Crossing for
It's lost the true spirit of Animal Crossing?
Well, it really has. The point of Animal Crossing is you check, you load it up, and we'll use New Leaf as an example, but you go into it, you can poke around and do some stuff, maybe you buy some things, you go check out the shop and do whatever, and you talk to some animals if they're there, that's fine, that's good, that blast. And then when you're like, and I'm done,
Construction workers are like, get on with the episode, guys.
and I can shut, you can shut the lid on your 3DS and come back to it 3 days later, and who gives a shit? And if you miss something, then it's like, well, that's fine. I might have missed it, but most things I can always just get again. And this is like, if
Every
you miss
3
it,
hours, you won't get the things. You won't be able to get everything unless you check in with your game every 3 hours.
Yeah.
The chores,
Yeah.
the amount of time suck that this game demands from you, but it's very cute and relaxing.
yeah, you don't have. They just introduced the new method to build stuff that has like the reissue stuff.
Oh yeah, if you hadn't been playing since the beginning, you're screwed. You're never going to get the stuff that you want.
So now they have the reissue, where it's kind of like, oh, well, you can build reissue items. We're going to reissue those again, and instead of you being able to just earn them, you can just buy them. I'm like, oh, that's great. I mean, 30,000 bells, that's a lot of bells for an item.
If you're a high-end player, that's nothing.
But you also need reissue material, specialized material to make an item, and it's like, why? Why gate that? Why be like, well, you can only make 6 of these 8 items because you don't have enough reissue material, and you have to get reissue material by spending leaf tickets on, like, oh, you have to spend the Smurf berries in order to actually make this shit work. Great.
Let's talk about that zipper event. 600 eggs.
600 eggs.
600 eggs for a horrific plush.
Yeah.
The 1% are taking over Animal Crossing.
I mean, like, if you've been playing since the beginning, like, faithfully, like Beige and I, then you're like, I don't care about this reissue thing. But if you're a new player, boy, what a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, you could do this, but you actually can't. There's no way to earn enough reissue material. There's actually no way to earn more reissue material than there has already been released. So you can only make things that you have missed as opposed to making everything in the set.
I mean, I got a couple more flagstones, which I was happy to get.
That's good, yeah.
I was like, oh, because I had like 4 of the floral footpath flagstones. I was like, if I had 6, I could make something nice with it. So I was really happy to get those additional 2 more.
Sure.
But I don't know what I'm even waiting for reissue-wise. Because now every time there's a gardening event and they're
doing
like
everything.
Yeah, I'm just like, how much can I grind out? So I'm like, I want 8 cherry trees. I want 8 of this.
Yeah.
Right?
I made like 2 rover mugs or 3 rover mugs because I needed something cheap I could make.
Oh, right, to hit your craft 3 and get 3 leaf tickets or whatever.
And it was just like, these are the cutest thing that I could possibly make, so.
Also, I'm very, very upset that they give out leaf tickets in multiples of 3 now because things are uneven, and that bothers me. And they should know that that's going to bother the kind of people who play Animal Crossing.
Right. It's
like,
good.
come on, do some market research.
Are we still even in the previews, Paul? Like, because I realize I've been shifting a bit. Do I actually look like I'm where I belong?
Hey, let's bitch about Animal Crossing some more. Talk's a strong word.
Move closer to Kathleen used to live.
Like that?
Yeah.
So when Animal Crossing comes out for the Switch,
Yes.
do we just throw our phones into the sea and dance a jig of freedom?
The problem is I don't know if I'll play it, but I also don't know if I'm not even sure if I'm going to continue playing Pocket Camp or not. Like, I keep asking myself that every single time because it's like, I just want like 2 weeks off from playing it, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to get all the things, then it's like you have to keep doing that stuff, and I'm just like,
If only they could let up with delivering excellent content.
It's not excellent content.
It's kind of not excellent content anymore.
It's just like filler.
It's addictive content, and it's the problem is I can't shake it. I've shaken so many other games.
You know the reason I'm still playing this? Penelope loves the animals.
Oh, yeah.
She thinks they're cute. I got Marina, and she was like, can we put Octavian in your camp? She remembered I had another octopus named Octavian, and she's like, let's put them in the camp together. They're brother and sister.
Ah. They probably are, actually.
I don't know. She had invented a rich narrative already for them, so I was like...
That's fantastic.
So all octopuses are related. Is that how it works?
She's 3. She's not yet shipping at like an adult level.
That's a good point, yeah. You got to give her at least another 11 or 12 years before she's actually actively shipping people.
So this is weird, but occasionally Penelope's just like, I like blah. She told me the other day, she's like, I want to meet Ryder from Paw Patrol, and I was like, oh, what do you want to do? And she's like, I want to hug him.
Aw.
And I was like, that's very sweet. I wonder if that's a 3-year-old like expressing like, I like
Sexual
boys.
desire kind of deal?
Not necessarily that, but just like, I like boys, but I
Yeah.
don't have any context other than giving someone a hug.
Yeah, exactly. But it's that
She
kind
had
of
to
thing
think
of like
about it for a
there's
second.
all this affection that you're like, how do you express that properly? And it's
Yeah.
like, at that level, that's all you would really know how to do,
Yeah,
right?
you just give somebody a hug.
I also maintain there's nothing in the world that is as weird as what an 8-year-old thinks sex actually is.
I was like, people lie down on top of each other and then...
But they vibrate? they rub up against each other really rapidly? You know that they're nude when they do it, because you're not allowed to be nude. Right? Being nude is a thing you're not allowed to be, so they must be nude when they do this.
Yeah. I can't remember what I thought sex was, and my mom enjoyed, like, not telling me.
Oh.
I was like, what is sex? She's like, I'm not telling you. I know, you don't. And I was like, but I'm legitimately curious. And then she'd just say, the important thing is why buy the cow when you could have the milk for free? And I'm like, I'm 8 and I don't know what this means. She just yelled that at me a bunch.
What's a cow?
Well, I knew what a cow was, but I didn't understand the analogy.
Who is the cow in this situation, you say? What's supposed to
Well, my mom, obviously.
So
today it's CheckPoint.
This is actually a weirdly good segue into this week's CheckPoint.
Yeah!
Let's actually do our fucking show. Deej, you are a delight, and I love working with you.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful person.
I have a lot of fun when we do these things, too. I never know where our conversations are going to go. All right, I'm under control.
All right, let's do this thing.
This is CheckPoint.
Hello, and welcome to CheckPoint.
Great.
I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, when do we stop?
Yeah.
We just let the... Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Very fast. Now let us read chat.
Yeah.
I shall stop local recording.
I'm interested to see if people disagree with me. Because, like, the Golden had, like, a bunch of very, very good quality of life improvements that really improved the game.
Just like making it easier to play.
They sort of, yeah, like, because, you know, it was a PS2 game when it came out.
You want the AC on?
Yes, please.
Yes.
And we had to reshoot the intro.
Yeah, I saw.
Cool.
So, like, that was great, and agree. But I think that they felt that they couldn't justify re-releasing the game just with a bunch of quality of life improvements, so they're like, what can we add? Yeah. And so you could get your license and drive a scooter and go to a beach, which was fun, but
Neat.
like...
Okay. But ultimately, yeah, did that...
There's a couple more social links as
Okay.
well. You could hang out with Adachi, who was an NPC who didn't have a social link before. That was like... good, enjoyable.
But was it like mostly like, other than the quality of life improvements to like the game, was it just mostly faffing about, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, it was I said they added 2 new social links, one of which was an all-new character named Marie, who you could date, and I enjoyed playing it immensely, and I enjoyed playing with sort of the modern quality of life improvements, because like I said, it came out as a PS2 game, and we had different expectations then about how games play.
Yeah.
But I, like, the whole time I was playing this, I'm like, is any of this strictly necessary? Is this making the story a little bit worse? Because it's like, turn it from a very tight, focused game where everybody has a lot of like, you know, everybody has a really important role to play in the team dynamics and pushing the narrative forward.
Right.
To, this character's here because we wanted to add another female dating option. And like, I had a very consistent naggy feeling that like, I don't know if this is making the game better.
Was Golden the one where they added a female protagonist too?
No, that was Persona 3.
Oh, I see.
When because Persona 3 came out and then they re-released it for the PSP with a female protagonist. So they did quite a change, and I don't think they're going to do that again for Persona 5 because it sort of requires like rewriting a lot of the game.
Right.
There's a certain aspect where it's like they added a bunch of stuff you can do around the school, and they're adding a bunch of different things, and it's like, is this really enhancing anything? But then there's a certain point where it's like, well, what is like the game?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, in a lot of cases, a game is essentially faffing about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but just in an enjoyable way.
Right.
So it sort of, in some ways, you sort of have to come to terms with the idea of it's like, maybe there wasn't, maybe that is what I want in this game.
No,
Right.
but like, okay, there's spending time with your friends, social links. Like Persona 4. I'm going to talk about Persona 4 a lot because I have a lot of opinions. It's my favorite game. I've played it several times. Persona 4 is like playing through an anime, including it has a hot springs like part of the game, which is pure fan service, faff, joking, fun, and
Sure.
it's really funny, and it has its part in the game. But like just adding a whole nother like character, and like it doesn't really seem to have any plot impact, and it's just like we're spending more time together and stuff. But like she doesn't contribute anything to your party or anything like that. You know, it's just kind of like.
I mean, I guess by the nature they can't ever have that much plot impact because obviously nothing is gonna. It's not like a different thing is gonna happen at the end.
But why add her at all then?
Yeah.
Because like
it just
makes
it
makes a good tight story where all of the parts function together and are interconnected and everybody has a role to play into. And then there's this person, which is a worse story, right? Like from a writing perspective.
I mean, because of course, objectively she was not necessary because she wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So clearly she wasn't necessary.
Yeah, although a couple people in chat, and I do have to say, Persona 5 is a great game, but Persona 5 has some really like way off the mark, like dumb homophobic remarks in it, and just like so. I don't know if anybody from Atlas is listening, but I think you would do a great service to your audience to take those out when you localize the Persona 5, the Royal. You won't miss anything from the game, and you will raise everyone's enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Is it a localization thing?
No.
Oh.
It's just that Japan is a way more homophobic society than ours, and you meet two characters in a red light district who think the protagonist is cute, and it gets sort of laughed off as, ooh, aren't they weird?
Right.
They're gay. And it's like, in when did this game come out? 2017? It was like unacceptable. And in 2020, it will be worse. So, yeah, just take it out.
Like it wouldn't like just take out those characters or
just change the dialogue.
Or change like it would just be a translation thing, eh? Like they could just have different
you
dialogue.
could change the original text as well, but that would mean having to convince the people.
But like you would just change the dialogue. It wouldn't actually need to like that scene wouldn't have to be removed.
No, you could just change the dialogue to literally anything else. You could have them asking for directions. You could have them trying to advertise like. It's literally 3 lines of dialogue, right? But it's just like you play through it and you're like you go from la 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 to which is what my experience was, and I can only imagine it's worse for non-straight white people. Like it's so frustrating. I don't know.
I mean, speaking of, I guess
that's my only problem with that game.
Speaking of Persona 5, there's the whole Wii thing that dropped today, or not necessarily Wii, but Wii and PS4.
I mean, Switch?
Or Switch, sorry.
Thank you.
Wow. The Switch.
Kind of like, holy shit.
Oh, they're the guys
Back
who
to the
chase
Future.
us.
The Switch and the new version of Persona 5 that's going to be like a
Dynasty Warriors kind of thing.
Persona 5 Scramble.
But that's your jam. You like the Dynasty Warriors games, don't you?
No. I played Hyrule Warriors. I enjoyed that for the time that I played it. And then when Heather and I dropped playing that for a couple weeks for whatever reason, I realized I had no inkling to go back to it. Because I didn't mind smashing dudes over and over. It's kind of fun.
It's a weird style of game.
We solved it.
Yeah.
Is the problem, because we knew we had things we had to do in the game in order to like up everybody's experience level. So we're like, well, the easiest way to do that is to go to this one level and to just grind that shit out on this one level, and we knew the order we had to move in to do it as efficiently as possible. And I'm like, I'm sick of this now. I have now solved the game.
Okay, but that's like if in Persona, that's like in the spirit of the developers intending is that you figure out the best way to level up and then you grind out a few levels.
Yeah, except that we were grinding that out an awful lot in order to actually make meters move up, and it's kind of like this is. I don't think that's a problem with the game. I think that Musou games are a lot of fun based on me playing that one game, but I also knew that I overplayed that game, and now I was done playing that game. So I hope that people enjoyed this game.
Yeah, I was so excited when they're like, Persona 5S, and I was like, oh, for Switch? Because I would buy Royale on Switch rather than PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if I had to pick one or the other, I would do it on the handheld, because it was really nice being able to play the Golden on my Vita.
Yeah.
By the way, I still own one Vita game. That's the Golden. Right. I actually have some other Vita games. But I had this like ridiculous idea that I would be able to play all these video games when I went on mat leave. But it turns out my hands were full all the time, so I just had to sit there and listen to the CBC and get depressed.
Not to say the CBC is a depressing radio
I
station.
mean, it probably is now. Have you seen the World Beach?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's quickly go over some of the stories we didn't do.
Oh yeah, we got 20 minutes.
Yeah, we took a little while
But
for a
how-
reason that I can't remember now.
Beige had to fish.
Before the stream.
Beige had to
Before we
fish. It
started.
was very important. I will always support Beige in his Animal Crossing fishing until one of us quits.
But anyway, we got so this is actually kind of cool. Overwatch is going to be introducing a thing called the Overwatch Workshop. So for Warcraft 3 and StarCraft and these games, the mod community obviously is pretty big. That's where Dota came from in the first place. And so they're going to be releasing, while there are already like custom game modes for Overwatch, they're going to be releasing more sophisticated mod tools that'll actually allow you to like script things, making it so you do all sorts of interesting things. So who knows? It's one of those things where they're like putting it out there. Who knows what'll come out of it? At the moment, you can't do things like import. Like you can't import your own art into it.
Right.
So obviously, there's some limitations as to what you can do. But yeah, who knows what'll come out of it? It seems like a neat idea, though.
Yeah.
Black Ops has got like some variant maps, which is cool, but they don't really change anything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And the problem is that they, like, if you go like, I want to play a random map,
Right.
there'll be like a bunch of different maps and then a bunch of variant, which are just like different like weather and like daytime versus nighttime and stuff. And so when it's randomly choosing one, you might end up on the same map over and over again,
But
just
with
at
different
different time
weather
periods
conditions?
and different weather.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently they're not like that, like it's not that different.
I get enough of that in everybody's golf. I don't need it in Black Ops,
Yeah.
which I don't play.
So
So long to unlock a second course. People find that frustrating. In other unfrustrating news, Yoda can finally block in Star Wars Battlefront 2, a patch 17 months in the making.
Wow,
and
holy crap.
Darth Maul as well. Apparently Yoda didn't block before. He just could like absorb and reflect force powers, but he couldn't actually block it. And people were like, Yoda's literally like, that's his, like he's like he's lightsaber master.
Yeah,
Why
you think he'd
can't
be
he
able to
do
do
this
that?
thing? And so now Yoda and Darth Maul can block. Although apparently this might make Yoda super OP. But
He should be.
to be fair, Yoda should be pretty OP. I
Yeah.
mean,
He's Yoda.
he's Yoda. But
fine.
from a gameplay perspective, I guess that's not a good reasoning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Robot Bones in chat says too small, which, aside from being adorable Tumblr speak, is probably correct. Probably blocking did not work with his very small sprite.
Yeah, they probably had to have like a completely different animation set for it.
And
Yeah.
probably just like figuring out how to have the things interact was probably a nightmare because he's so much smaller than all of the other
Yeah.
like.
He's the odd job of the Battlefront universe. Oh yeah, hey, this is sort of an interesting crossover between Checkpoint and other Loading Ready Run adjacent stuff. If you didn't see them, there's a bunch of awesome variant cards for Magic that have come out for the new War of the Spark thing. Well, at the moment, they're Japan only, but there's we're hoping.
Well, we're going to see
no,
them
no,
in a
we-
Wizards. There's a special thing that Wizards is doing where they're going to be making some of them available. I think was in the story.
Well, I mean, distributors can always order foreign language product.
Yeah.
And so, like, typically, like, Yellow Jacket will get, like, a case of Japanese cards in, because some people like them for the swag.
Okay,
value.
sorry,
Yeah.
I should say they're not Japan only; they're Japanese only.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're alternate art planeswalkers printed in Japanese, like
Yeah.
and so like you have if you were in Japan and you buy a Magic booster for War of the Spark, you have a 50-50 chance because every pack has a guaranteed planeswalker. You have a 50-50 chance of opening a special Japanese art variant, and they got a bunch of very famous Japanese artists, and including
the reason why, or part of the reason why it's sort of an interesting Checkpoint thing is including the artist that did the original concept art for Final Fantasy, Yoshitaka Amano,
Yeah.
did Liana. and you can like.
She looks great.
And if you have looked at any of the like Final Fantasy art books and
Yeah.
stuff, it's one of those things where you're like, this looks so familiar.
Yeah.
Why do I know this style? And then it's like, oh, right, of course.
It's weird because when I look at it, what I see is
She looks like a summon from Final Fantasy.
this is gonna be awful. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be awful. She looks like the kind of shit that the really good artist in your 9th grade art class used to doodle on the front of their binders.
Probably because they were copying Yoshitaka Amano.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like that kind of style that it's all the pencil crayon kind of looking to it, and I'm like, it looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but it also reminds me a lot of that. And it says here that. Where is the thing? They'll be available purchase globally, like we said. Will also be appearing in 1 out of every 4 Wizards Play Network promo packs when the Core Set 2020 releases this fall. So I guess they're looking at making it more available in some ways, which is pretty cool. And some of the character art from even other artists looks amazing as well. I was going to do this story because I don't play Magic and I don't play Final Fantasy.
Perfect. Foxmar has posted an article to the Wizards website. Thank you, Foxmar, for that. And thank you to all of our mods. Not just Foxmar, but especially Foxmar for posting that link. Yeah. Yang Yu is by the guy who does the Fire Emblem art. I can't remember. Somebody who's like the guy who did Bolus is one of, I can't remember these people's names, and I'm sorry, but the person who did Bolus is a very famous Japanese monster artist.
Okay.
Famous for like drawing Godzilla and
Like doing kaiju and stuff.
Kaiju artist. That's the word I was looking for.
I feel like if you're a really talented artist in Japan, you've probably done concept art for a video game at some point.
Yeah, almost certainly, yeah.
So this is my personal favorite card art. Arlen, who looks amazing. It's like a reference to like a classic manga cover, and but the colors on it are superb. Ashiok, everyone's favorite genderless nightmare weaver. Look how good that card
That
looks.
is really nice.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
Like, not that her normal art is bad by it, but this is incredible.
Yeah.
Hire this person to do more art all the time. And Ashiok looks great, and Vraska looks really great.
I really like Vivian's card.
Vivian with the bow?
Yeah, God, it just is like, that's waifu material. It was just really well done.
I've seen Vivian and Tamio have been voted top waifus out of this.
To be fair, Tamio especially was that case before. I think,
okay.
So.
I've never seen Tamio.
Oh,
so I have no idea.
I'm surprised she hasn't shown up in the Puzzle Quest.
Arlen, it's from the one.
I feel like
that is surprising.
Art.
Holy shit! Actually,
She seems like somebody who would actually have been playing Puzzle Quest.
I just. Flat Luigi's posting the one by the person who does all the Gunpla Gundam box art. Unfortunately, I don't give a shit about Gundams.
Well, Cameron will care.
Yeah,
He's gone home.
Ian might think it's interesting. That's Karn though. Khan is what it says at the end there. So.
Wow, good reading.
I'm glad we have this bigger monitor so I can see stuff like that.
So the other thing, the Commodore 64 version of Super Mario Brothers, which has apparently a guy's been working on this for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Finally was released and immediately got a takedown notice from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which is not that surprising, but it's just like
it hurt because did you watch the video?
No.
It's amazing.
it's so well done.
There's no way the Commodore 64 should be able to pull off what he did, but because demo guys have been getting this good at it, for them to be like, hey, we did, and I wanted to do this as a story because my punchline was going to be that maybe we should take up a collection and buy this guy a used NES because he doesn't seem to have one to play Mario on.
We could get you Mario.
Yeah,
it,
you
like
don't
it wouldn't do have to spend 7 years porting it. We could get that for you.
But it's out there. It was on the internet shortly, which means it's out there everywhere now. And if you want to give it a try, do. I kind of want to try it myself. And I was just really impressed with the fact that he did it. That he pulled it off.
It really, I've talked about this before on CheckPoint, but it does frustrate me sometimes, these incredibly talented developers building these incredibly awesome things, but using a licensed product, so they can never actually do anything with. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if this guy obviously has incredible Commodore 64 talent, if he had just not made it Mario, you know, this could have been a whole thing.
Which is.
But it's like you're literally, or you see, you know, or like the Equestria fighting game, or all these things where it's just like, this is amazing, but it's just a waste of time because you're not going to be able to do anything with it.
But you can't get attention unless you do that, because everyone's like, oh my god, it's because if this guy had made Great Guiana Sisters, which is literally like the Great Guiana Sisters was a Super Mario Brothers ripoff.
Right.
So if he had just said, well, I'm going to just do Guiana Sisters again, but make it way better, be like, neat, I guess, no one gives a shit. But when you're like, I'm going to make Super Mario Brothers, it's like, yes, you got that taken down. Yes, we're all paying attention to it. Yes, this sucks that happened. But it wouldn't have mattered. You could have made it with different sprites and nobody would give a shit that you made this.
I was looking at Arlen. It's really good.
It really is.
Like, it's like, that's transformative level. Like, a lot of it's like, oh, that is a very nice take on a planeswalker. Like, Soren looks like a JoJo. Sick, right?
I
but
do wonder.
Arlen, it's like, wow. That's like, whoa.
And then the other thing to talk, you know, we're almost out of time here, so we can't cover it a lot.
No.
But of course, there's one of the big stories that happened this
Covered
last.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp extensively.
I know. This is not quite as important as that.
Okay.
Okay.
But the big story in the last week was came out of Epic in the some not very good information coming out about the kind of crunch that the developers around Fortnite are dealing with. And basically, it's the whole, you know, like, the victim of the success in some ways. Like, it's been part of the reason why Fortnite has been so successful is continual updates. I mean, and of course, you know, you've seen on the joke on CheckPoint is that we're always doing Fortnite stories. Yeah. Because they're always coming out with new, weird, crazy stuff. Yeah. But of course, that's that requires a lot of dev time, and so the kind of crunch that apparently has been going on at Epic in order to keep that treadmill of new content for Fortnite going is really not cool. No. And
they're in eternal crunch.
It turns out if your game never stops producing content, they never have to stop crunching you. Yeah. They can just never hire more people to keep up with the demand.
And it's just like, and it's that thing where, you know, it's sort of feels a little bit similar to the whole thing around like Red Dead, where it's like they're talking, you know, this stuff, the crunch stuff was sort of brought to the forefront, which I don't think was that big a surprise to anybody, but the sort of extent of it. Yeah. And then, you know, of course, Epic is like, well, you know, we try to make sure that people don't do more hours than necessary and stuff. But then at the same time, you know, Epic has been basically advertising how ridiculously huge amounts of money they're making by, you know, putting out the Epic store with a lot smaller cut than they otherwise been doing, like a developer, like giving back a bunch of money to developers, running these huge Fortnite tournaments where they're giving away huge amounts of money. Yeah. And then at the same time where they're, you know, overworking their developers to the extent that they're burning them out. Yeah.
If you're making that much money, you shouldn't have to force your developers to work more than 40 hours a week. Just hire more developers.
Because I mean, and this is not the, like, you know, oh, if you just hire more developers, then it'll go faster.
I swear there was a throwaway line in the bottom of the article that says Epic has said that they keep trying to hire new people. The problem is that like, the way I read it was like, we're trying to hire new people, we're trying to bring new people on. It's like, yeah, it takes you several months to get up to speed on how to do anything, but also, in the meantime, you're burning out all of your other employees, and now you're bringing in brand new people who are going to get burned out as well. It's like, you can't hire people fast enough because you're burning them out too fast.
Yeah, like...
And also, like, Fortnite has been out for a while now. Like, the on-ramping of new developers should be well underway at this point. Yeah. So
it's awful.
But I mean, like, even more hiring would not help, says Nightvillian28. But here's the deal. If somebody needs to work 80 hours a week to get their workload done, then you need to hire more than one somebody to take on that workload.
Or you need to reduce the amount of work that is being done in the first place.
Or,
Like
or segmenting out your work or
Epic
something.
really needs to say, we need to stop making so much so fast. We need to be bringing more people on and onboarding new people and slowing this shit down. I don't think they can.
Well, I think that
They're addicted to the money drip. They,
Like, I
they know
think-
they can't bear back because everyone will get, like, all their investors will get pissed off at them.
Yeah, well, I think if they're like, no, we have to keep churning out content at this pace, then I'm sorry. Like, the solution is that if you need to make 1,000 things a week, and the only way you can do it is to have 10 employees working 8 hours a week, then you could have 20 employees working 40 hours a week. Because if you're making 1,000, like if you have to get that level of input, and like maybe you'll hire 40 employees, and like you'll double your workforce, and there obviously your 20 new employees aren't going to be
Up to speed.
but it will be a start, and eventually. You will be able to make 1,000 things a week without burning everyone else.
Sure.
There's always going to be a training thing. That's no excuse.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the only way things will get better is if you address the problem. And if you can't scale back what you're making, then you have to have more people make it. You have to increase your production capacity.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that they can, and the stance I take is if they know the biggest problem is that they can't make enough fast enough because they're burning everybody else, then they got to make less, and they got to live with the problem of making less, and that's damn near impossible. They're stuck in a very bad situation, and they're just going to keep abusing their workers until.
I mean, Rockpusher says it in chat. The crappy argument back to investors is we need to gear down or change or like spend more, or we'll be dealing with a union, and a union is like
Make that
better for
decision for
workers,
you,
but the
yeah.
union will make that decision for you, and the investors will like what the union is doing is far less. And I'm not saying that they should do that and then they don't have to do a union. I think a union would be very helpful in preventing this in the first place.
Yeah.
But I think that it's
That would just be a way of explaining it. That would be like, hey, the investors, we have to do this because it's necessary. But I worry that if you scale down a game as big as Fortnite, like if you actually were to scale back on content, that people might end up losing interest.
Yeah, like the
Because-
reason they're doing this churn of content is to keep people always coming back to the game. It's the game as a service. It's the same reason Pocket Camp is always like, more fish, more bugs,
Yeah, I
new
gotta
event,
keep
new
coming
thing.
back.
You have to come in every day. You have to check in multiple times a day. And if that is your business, if that's your business plan, then you need to support your business plan in a long-term sustainable way.
And it's and it is possible to do that. It
Yeah.
just requires being realistic about what people can actually produce. Anyway, it's a tough one. That is, I'm hoping. I mean, I keep saying this, but maybe we'll get to the point where enough of these high-profile stories happen.
It's starting to come up.
Where people, where the pushback gets hard enough that it actually becomes starts to affect the bottom line of these companies, the PR, at least the PR around it.
Yeah.
And that we can get to a point where the video game industry starts getting into a more reasonable space.
Well, here, like apparently at GDC, there's always been like people who are like, we should have a game developers union, but apparently at GDC, a lot of people are like, you're right this year. So like, if this keeps going in like 3 to 5 years, these companies might just be like, oh, all of our employees are unionized because we've worked them into the ground, like. And from a management point of view, people who are not sick and not exhausted work faster and do better work.
Yeah.
It's less work. And somebody who is like on the verge of a burnout will take twice as long to do something, and it will be half the quality. It's less efficient.
Anyway, let's welcome some subscribers before we got to go away so we can do LRMTG. So, thank you everybody for watching the show. But in particular, thank you to the people who who subscribed during this stream, starting with, hopefully, the person who will appear on screen, but they're not.
Oh.
Because life is hard. Wait.
Life is hard.
Wait.
Yeah, as a reminder to everybody, it is Thursday today.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
Oh, and by the way, here's the thing. There's a certain movie that's coming out tonight. This is when the previews start?
Oh, okay. Is it? I would assume
I don't
it is.
know. I don't have time to go see any movies.
It's fine.
Don't talk
there it
about it
is.
in chat. Please don't. Don't. The mods will delete even if it's joking. Don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
No real spoilers, no fake spoilers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zeal, 250 for 26 months. Thank you very much. And then somebody else who I will also be thanking, or we will be thanking.
Oh, there we go.
This person.
Bantianu,
Ooh.
who's been here for 2 months. Welcome back. Glad you came back.
And hey, Seraph Althea has subscribed for 9 months. 19 months. That's so long. Thank you.
Lady Desco for 26 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Androgynits for 39 months.
Good username.
13 by 3. That's awesome.
And Wasser, 3,038 months. That's so many months. That's over 3 years.
Chameleon, Cam the Lion.
No.
No, that's a different user.
Chameleon84 for 14 months. I saw them and then I thought they were something else because they were disguised.
Yeah. Haven Jund is been here for 68 months, so we're
my
getting
goodness.
close.
We met them at PAX.
We did.
Yeah. And Ojion the Silent has been here for 4 months.
Lieutenant Elliot for 3 months, or Lieutenant Elliot, depending on where you are from.
Thank you, Lord Crusher, for the 100 bits. And the sub stream was slow this week because the bonus stream earlier picked up a lot of those subs.
Nice.
Also, the substream, the sub train last week was ridiculous and silly
Yeah.
because of the PPR.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody for joining us for Checkpoint Plus. Going to LRR MTG.
Basically right now.
Basically right now, and then we got the long game. The long
Yeah.
game tonight, where we're going to be continuing on with Pandemic.
Yeah.
Wait, well, I know we're supposed to go, but the long game is a brand new stream. So what is it, Beige?
The long game is our campaign gaming stream where if you like legacy style board games like Risk Legacy, Pandemic Legacy, Hero Quest, that kind of thing where they have to be played over a long period of time, that's what that stream is for. And
Yep.
tonight we'll be continuing on with Pandemic Legacy, and all of our Legacy games will now be taking place on the long game, Thursday nights every other week.
Which means that that leaves more time for other games on AFK as
Yeah.
well. So, yay.
So enjoy that long game.
Game!
God, I love that commercial.